Hey, good morning, my friends. Glad you could join us. Coffee with Jim and, well, Jim Hinckley's America is a shared adventure. This morning, we're going to inspire some road trips, a little bit of Arizona adventure. We're going to be visiting with Todd Spitzer. I'll let him explain it, but he's got a family connection to the Beale Wagon Road. And this also is led to a little bit of a mystery and a little bit of interest in Arizona history, Tombstone and others. So I think we're going to have a great discussion today. Got lots of things coming up to talk about. The Tulsa AAA Route 66 Road Fest. Joe Barr, I'm trying to get some updates on his adventure, setting a record bicycling Route 66. So lots of things. Listen, Jim Hinckley's America has always been a shared adventure. So I want to encourage you, share the adventure. Join us. Invite your friends. Let's have some fun with this. Let's give Mr. Spitzer a holler and let's see if we can get this going this morning. I think you're going to really enjoy this conversation a lot. He is a very fascinating fellow, to say the very least. And let's get this thing started. And then, depending on how much time we have left, I'll get into some other things that we got coming up. The Beale Wagon Road, for a little bit of backstory, the Beale Wagon Road is quite a story, and it's rooted in ancient history. And it is was the first federally funded.
Sorry, the mailbox is full.
It was the first federally funded highway in the Southwest, and easily you could say it's a predecessor to Route 66 because it was followed later by the railroad, and the railroad was followed by the National Old Trails Road here in the Southwest, and then it was followed by, of course, Route 66 and now I-40. But the origins of the Beale Wagon Road are actually as a Native American trading route. Zuni Pueblos, Hopi villages to the Mojave villages on the Colorado River, and then what became the Mojave Road across the Mojave Desert was all this Native American trade route. And Father Garces was the first one European to document this route across most of northern Arizona. He chronicled an expedition in 1776. Hey, good morning, Keith. How are we doing today? I'm always glad that you could join us, and I'm glad you found us. And we'll talk about some of this other stuff in just a tad bit. Let's see if I can get Todd here. The Beale Wagon Road also had another kind of a quirky part to this, and that was the camel caravan.
Sorry, the mailbox is full.
Hope Todd's okay. No problems there. But we will continue. The Beale Wagon Road also had the camel caravan as a component of this. And Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale is a story well worth talking about in itself. He was, gosh darn it, just an absolute larger than life figure. And involved with all kinds of just amazing exploits. When he was tasked with surveying this road to cross to the Colorado River, originally from Fort Defiance, as I understand it, and later from Fort Smith in Arkansas, the road cut across. But not only was he assigned this task to do the Beale Road, survey this road. But the Secretary of War gave him a secondary task, which was testing the viability of camels for military transport in the desert Southwest. And so he had that going for him. They imported some camels, and from all accounts that I've had, this was quite a disaster. They brought in some camel jockeys from the Middle East. Haji Ali, they called him Haji Ali, was one of the most famous fellow from Syria. And he, of course, the camel caravan. A little bit of an historic footnote here is that the fellow who authorized the camel experiment, the Secretary of War, was a fellow named Jefferson Davis. He made a career move a couple of years later because the Beale expeditions were back 1857, 1858. And Jefferson Davis went on, made a career move kind of sideways and then backwards, became the president of the Confederate States of America, the breakaway republic. And the camel caravan sparked lots and lots of legends about marauding camels, loose camels, ghostly camels, you name it. And these stories continued well up into the 20th century. But this was largely, myth, a great urban legend and myth. And it was, I think it depended on how much you were drinking at the time, how many of these ghostly camels that you saw. But that is just part of the great story of the Beale Road. We're having trouble getting in contact here with Todd, so we will just continue. If you have any questions, let's just bring them up now, and we'll talk about most anything. But I'd like to concentrate right now on the Beale Wagon Road and the evolution of this highway system here in the Southwest. If you have any information about the Beale Wagon Road or the Mojave Road, I would sure like to, please feel free to chime in. I'm old enough to realize the more I learn, I realize how little I know. If we have trouble getting a hold of Todd, we'll have to reschedule that. So we will just continue. The Beale Wagon Road. There's lots of tangible links to the Beale Wagon Road, like here in Kingman, Arizona, Beale Springs, and then across the road, there's a dead end where they're cutting I-11 through. There's Atlantic Springs, and those were all part of on the Beale Wagon Road. You can find traces of the Beale Wagon Road in lots of places across northern Arizona. References to Beale himself. Well, Beale Street in Kingman, Arizona, one block off Route 66. Back in the 30s, that was Highway 466. Of course, the Hotel Beale in Kingman, Arizona would be another tangible link to Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale's fame, if you will. But if you want to do a really interesting character search, check on Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale. And of course, the Beale Street Theater here in Kingman. Another reference. The transportation in evolution here in the Southwest makes for a real interesting study in general. We had the Native American trade route, the expeditions like Father Garces. The Colorado River became the interstate highway system of the territorial period before the coming of the railroad in the early 1880s. And that spawned a whole bunch of
unknown caller.
Things here. Give me just one moment. This is Jim.
Hey, Jim.
Yes.
This is Chandler. watching your live stream.
Yes, sir.
Hey, I got questions.
Okay, just one moment.
Alrighty.
Okay, sir. Tim, what you got?
The Beale Street. No, Chandler.
No,
The
what?
Beale Street Theater.
Yes, sir.
What's the Beale Street Theater?
The Beale Street Theater was the old State Theater, and it's got quite a story here in Kingman, Arizona. We haven't been able to really decipher this. Let me see if I can cut this back a tad bit. But the Beale Street Theater was a state theater, but it was the original State Theater was on the corner of 4th and Beale. And apparently the Beale Street Theater that's been renovated as a performing arts center now was built in 1948, but we can't find evidence that it opened as a theater until 1963. And now it's a fully renovated, very nice state-of-the-art performing arts center. Does that kind of answer your question?
Hey, I got a couple. My name is Chandler.
Yes, sir.
You talked to Mark yesterday. Mark
Mm-hmm.
Smith. Can you save my number? If I have some questions, I'll call you
Yes. Mm-hmm.
anytime.
You bet.
All right.
Thank you, Chandler.
Go back to your live stream.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Yeah, that's pretty interesting. The Beale Street Theater is kind of an interesting situation in Kingman. The State Theater was originally opened in the 1930s on the corner of 4th and Beale in downtown Kingman. But now the Beale Street Theater was the State Theater. And it apparently was built in 1948 and using materials from the Kingman Army Airfield. But for some reason, when they were renovating the theater, and I've been digging into the archives when I was working with Kingman Main Street to develop the Kingman Tours walking project, narrated historic district walking tour. When I started doing research on that, we could not find evidence that the theater itself had opened until about 1963. Another great kind of mystery. The other buildings, the other storefronts in the Beale Street Theater complex were open. They became Gaddis Insurance, Lindsey Bond's Barbershop, Spitzer's Liquor was on the corner. But the theater itself, no idea. I do apologize that Todd has not been able to join us yet this morning. He may have been called out, but we'll see here. If you get a chance, though, and to do some research into Lieutenant Beale, I highly recommend it. Yeah, it's the Beale Wagon Road, but we also we were talking about the Colorado River Valley, the Colorado River towns. We had quite a few of the river ports that sprung up and tied in with the Beale Wagon Road in that same period. Was Captain Hardy established Hardyville, one of the first Mojave County seats on the Colorado River, just north of Bullhead City in near the Davis Dam area, right in there, Hardyville. And then, of course, Fort Mojave was just down the river a tad bit. And a road was built to connecting the Colorado River ports with the territorial capital at Prescott, Arizona. And that became the Hardyville Road. And it also then was updated and upgraded and became an important military road. And that road played prominently in the Wallapai Wars of the 1870s. and establishment of a military outpost at Beale Springs and Camp Willow Grove, south or over towards Wickiup, Arizona. If you're in the area of Kingman and you do a little bit of research, and if you can find the Surbat Foothills Recreation Area, the hiking trail system, Beale Springs is part of that. And if you go above Beale Springs to the Camp Beale Loop trailhead, you can find traces of you can find traces of the Mojave Prescott Road. You can find traces of the military encampment. You can also find traces of a 1913 highway that was put in there in Coyote Pass, as well as remnants of US 466. It's quite a transportation corridor there in Coyote Pass, just about a mile and a half off Route 66 from downtown Kingman. This is, of course, Highway 93 corridor, and it's being upgraded to the I-11 corridor for any if you're out doing a little bit of hiking. It will probably keep this kind of short this morning if we don't have a lot of questions, since we're having trouble getting a hold of Todd, and I do apologize for that. You know how these things go. Sometimes things just don't work as we planned. I wanted to give you a couple things here. I've mentioned this previously. This is not really related to Beale, but I thought you might find this of interest. If you're a fan of Route 66, you're familiar with this book, A Guidebook to Highway 66 by Jack Rittenhouse. This was published in 1946, and it's a very detailed milepost by milepost guide to Route 66. And that's what makes it so valuable to collectors today. It's been reprinted by Rio Grande Press. Some people, a fellow in Michigan that I've gotten to know fairly well, Scott Sheehan, he has made it quite a little hobby of his to include trying to document all the locations in the guidebook during his road trips. Well, I also do book reviews and try to get authors here on the program and give them a little bit of a boost. And I've got a great book right now from David Farmer, University of New Mexico Press. And to be honest, I'm really embarrassed to say this. I knew a bit about Jack Rittenhouse, but not much. And so his David Farmer's new book, Jack Rittenhouse, I've only read the first few chapters. What an amazing man, inspirational. This guy is really, really impressive. I'll do a full review of the book soon on the Jim Hinckley's America website. I have links up on the Jim Hinckley's America Facebook page and our Substack Central Hub. And I'm working right now with the press. Probably after I get back from Tulsa, we will have author David Farmer with us to discuss Jack Rittenhouse, the book, and the story of this amazing character. Speaking of Tulsa, I will be taking to the road soon. Me and my dearest friend are going to be heading to AAA Route 66 Road Fest in Tulsa. I have a couple different programs I'll be doing there. And on Sunday afternoon, 27th, I believe it is 28th, I'm very, very honored. It's going to be a kind of a roundtable discussion about Route 66. And I'm honored and humbled. I'll be sharing the stage with Michael Wallace, Jim Ross, and Joe Sonderman. All three just incredible pioneers in the Route 66 Renaissance movement. So that's something I'm really going to be looking forward to. If you have any confusion, because we seem to have a little bit, and I explained earlier on an Instagram live program that we're going to we'll keep the Podbean, Jim Hinckley's America Coffee with Jim landing page and going. But that'll be done with recorded programs now. since they've discontinued the live stream option. And we will record interviews if we can't get people on live, like this morning. And we'll also be doing a short history programs. I recently did one on the contentious election of 1876 presidential election. And another that I really enjoyed doing was bathtubs, bird cages, and Chevrolet. Some little bit of trivia from the early American auto industry. Think you find that of interest, and I'd sure like to see what we've got here. But so that kind of gives you an idea of where we're going with this. And I want to thank everybody who lends their hand to keeping this, Jim Hinckley's America going, even though it's plagued with problems like this morning. The folks who support us through Patreon, that's truly appreciated. A lot of the stuff we do, especially with educational programs, it wouldn't be possible without that support. And we've got some other just tremendous people and places, and we're careful about who we associate our name with. They've got to share our passion for road trips and the American story. David Brenner, the Roadrunner Lodge Motel, and Austin Coop, 2-Lane America, and Dina Nelson, State Farm Insurance here in Kingman. The incredible Vicky Ashcraft with the New Mexico Route 66 Alliance, and the Enchanted Trails Trading Post and RV Park over by Albuquerque. Sam Murray, Gilligan's Route 66 Tours, and Stephen and Chantel with Route Trip USA, all great supporters, and we're really, really appreciative. Folks, I want to thank you for joining us this morning. A little bit of an abbreviated program because something happened to Todd. I just hope it wasn't a serious issue. But we will be back next week. Meantime, follow our exploits on Instagram,
Unknown caller.
Facebook, and of course social media, and we will keep things down to we'll keep things going. We'll keep things going pretty well. It's all about telling people where to go, sharing America's story, and inspiring road trips, encouraging people to discover America through road trips. So remember, it's all about the people. That's what makes adventures truly special. Speaking of people, you have your homework assignment, my friends. Study up on Lieutenant Edward Fitzgerald Beale. You won't be disappointed. Well, I guess we're going to button this up today. I've got quite a few little projects going. I'll be sharing more updates on that real soon. But until we meet again, my friends, we'll do this again next Sunday, and hopefully we'll have the wheels on the bus by then. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye.